Well, welcome back once again, friends, to JJ's PC Build. You know, it's JJ with you once again. But before you get before I get started, don't forget your drink and snacks, by the way. That way it'll help you get you through the whole couple hours, maybe a little bit more, because today we have a lot to unpack. So if we do got all that to unpack, make sure you unpack and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and don't forget about the notification bell. So, yes, we are starting a couple minutes early. There's a reason. And I know it's going to suck, but here's the reasoning. We're going to talk about the 9000 series and unpack a little bit. I know everybody's been talking about it and everything else, but we're just going to dive a little deep in AMD's treasures and see what's going on there. And also, too, we can unpack some things about the 5060 Ti, the 5060 if it's out there, and whatever we find in information, because I'm going to take you guys along of what I'm going to be doing. We're starting from fresh. I'm not opening nothing up without you guys being there. So I'm going to go ahead and say to everybody on Discord, I'm live. So, which I'm going to announce that really quick. So that way everybody knows I'm live. I'm live on stream. That way everybody knows it. Oh, I heard a clip there, clip there, clip there. Okay. And if you guys do want to become part of the Discord crowd, and if you do, just let me know. I think last week we tried to do, what was it? Put it into the channel and tried to get to where everybody can click on the link. Let me go ahead and try that again. Try it again. So, and it's still not working. Wonder why. Huh. Guys, you need to help me figure that out. You need to help me figure that out. So, but you know me, I'll figure it out. I just bypass it. There we go. Now you got you guys a Discord link in there. Hello there, Tadas. Hello there, MTBK. Good to see you. Good to see you. Machine, yes, you're always first. I see you always clicking on and saying, I'm first. Let's see what you got cooking. I got many things cooking, my friend. Many things. First off, I had to fix that little Discord issue, which I resolved it. I just went, instead of hitting the copy button to copy it onto my clipboard, I just highlighted it and copied the whole link and then pasted it. I don't know why I was sitting there relying on that copy button to work. Obviously, it didn't. Okay. Since we got a couple of you in here, let's get started on the action screen. There are some things that I was messing around with when it comes to, let's go to the action screen anyway. There's a couple things that I was messing with when it comes to what I was doing today. And one of them was to get that big mouse cursor. That's because I wasn't paying attention. Once again, was not paying attention. So there we go. Now I'm paying attention. Okay, right here. This is what popped up on me this morning. Problem updating NVIDIA app. There was a problem updating NVIDIA app. You will need to manually update the app. And it gave me an error code. I know I'm starting this off a little bit differently, but went and looked up the error code, and this is all I came up with. And somebody posted on a thread, cannot open the app because I received this code, cannot uninstall in order to reinstall the app because I received the same code. It says there is not an installation. It needs to, what? It says there's an installation and needs to complete. However, it cannot complete because the app will not open. Using an uninstaller does not help. Okay. That's totally gotten me totally freaking lost. But let's go ahead and just put that right back on DuckDuckGo. And let's just X out of that and talk about that for a minute. I accidentally left that on. Sorry about that. So, what I'm thinking is this. It's either they have lost themselves in an abyss, or it's just plainly a Microsoft driver issue causing this, causing the update to not fulfill, which I had that happen before. Okay. And I had to go in the command.com and reset the stores because the stores got corrupted. That happened to me more than once. So in a later video, I'll show you guys how to go through and manually reset your stores with this, with an SD card. It's crazy. But somehow the stores got corrupted and I was unable to get my camera to work and stuff like that. So I repaired the stores and guess what? Everything worked. So it could be a driver issue. It could be an NVIDIA issue, but I will keep investigating and I will let you guys know. So the one thing I forgot to check was to see how well we're doing online. Obviously, I didn't. So let me check online to make sure we're live. Yeah, we're live. All right. So, okay, guys, enough screwing around. That's not why we're here today. I just wanted to bring. Okay, thank you, machine, for letting me know. Welcome back, by the way. Guys, I just wanted to bring this up in case you get stuck in that spot. Best thing to do is uninstall the app and reinstall it. Or find the update on NVIDIA's page and update the app. It's not hard to find. I've had to do that before myself, but this is a new one. This is definitely a new one. This is a new one that I first seen. So, all right. Now let's get past the drama for this morning. Let's go to the action screen. And let's see what we can find on the 9070. So what I want to do is I want to go to Amazon for a moment. This is going to be one of the gripes I have. I was having this yesterday. So if we do the 9070, this was a gripe I had yesterday. Okay. Now, with the 9070, some of their 9070 graphics cards, the XT and the 9070 itself, was listed in the beginning for their prime customers. And I was thinking to myself, why would they list the new graphics cards for their prime customers? This is what they were doing for the whole time until somebody caught them and said something about it. Why would they not make it for all customers? Their excuse was that they didn't want the scalpers. Get this. They didn't want the scalpers to buy out all the cards. They wanted to keep it for their customers. And I just thought to myself, are you that dumb? Scalpers can get a Prime account and buy up the GPUs. Either way you look at it, you're not preventing anything. Amazon, it doesn't reduce anything. Anybody can pay for a monthly account. It doesn't reduce anything. Then it comes to the fruition that I thought to myself, okay, this is what they could have done. You have to have an address for your graphics card. If you attach a phone number to your graphics card, now the phone number has to match with the address. So now, before the purchase, it gives you a PIN code, and you have to call the number in order to activate the PIN code to buy the GPU. So, if you look at it like this, it generates a PIN code for you and before you buy, and you have to activate it over the phone in order for it to be successful transaction. So there's 2 extra barriers you just put up to combat the scalper bots. That would combat the scalper bots totally. It's if they could do it for you to buy a pizza, I'm sure they can do it to combat the scalpers. Then that means that their name has to attach to the address, has to attach to the phone number. 3 barriers. Now the 4th one is the PIN code. So now they're going to have to use a 6-digit PIN code. Not a 4, a 6. So it can't be scalped. And then here's another barrier they could use. They say, well, in order for you to get your full warranty, if you buy a warranty from Amazon and your factory warranty, you have to use a PIN code to activate your 3-year warranty on Amazon. And then after that, you have to use the same PIN code to activate the 2-year warranty for the factory to get the full 5 years. And if you sell your GPU anytime, you have to go on the account you make up to put, for your factory warranty. And you have to go and say, I'm selling my GPU. So then it puts it into a block of being sold. So now you have what, 6 barriers that you could have done to combat scalpers, which is not costly, which they do pretty much every day in real world business in order to secure transactions. They could have done all that, totally taken out the scalper bots, because they won't be able to get past that at all, because now it's a physical transaction you have to do. And yeah, it sucks for some people to go this route, but convenience isn't everything when you're trying to buy a GPU or some kind of component off the internet. So you just totally made it totally secure for people to buy the new generation. Totally secure. Because if a scalper has to go that much drastic to get that GPU, they're not going to buy it. Especially when they go to buy a GPU and resell it without, notifying the retailer that they bought it from that they're going to be selling it. So you buy it 30 seconds, you sell it for more money. All the retailer has to say is, if you go to sell it to a consumer. If you're selling it for more than the price and value of the graphics card, then the warranty becomes voided. Because the one that buys this is going to have to put in the price of the sale with the receipt. And if it exceeds the purchase of the graphics card, then guess what? All warranties are voided. That right there, people are not going to buy GPUs with that kind of restriction from scalpers. So, tell me if I'm wrong about saying do it like this, or deal with the posturing from all the other reviewers, deal with the crap, deal with the fear mongering and everything else, other than companies stepping up to the plate, taking the bull by the horns, and now making it better for the public. That's the reason why the price keeps getting jacked up. As long as there's scalpers, the price is going to go higher. NVIDIA caught on to it, and then AMD caught on to it, and now Intel caught on to it. Now they want to raise the bar when it comes to PC parts. It has nothing to do with tariff. I'm going to tell you that right now. It has nothing to do with tariffs. Let me tell you why. Nothing's changed. In the last 2 weeks, nothing has changed. When I went to the store, it's the same pricing. Nothing has changed. When I've been looking on the internet, in Amazon, nothing has really changed other than the newest generation getting jacked at a higher price because of who? Go down the chain. Manufacturers, AIB partners, retailers. When you deal with an e-tailer, you deal with an e-tailer. So they sell it at whatever price they want to. So you have to understand that. Because if they say they buy a graphics card for $400 from the AIB partners, AIB partners bought the GPU processor, let's say for $200. Now they're selling it for $400. So 2, 4, $600. Scalpers get it. They sell it for $5,000. Guess who gets mad? The retailers. So now on this generation, other than the last generation, you got your manufacturers that caught on to it. Now they jacked the price of the processor from $200 to $300. Now the AIB partner jacked the price from going from $600 to $900. Now the retailer goes to $1,200 or more. They have to make their money too. They have to make their money too. They just can't sell products and not make a profit. That's not how business works. Do you think that's got anything to do with tariffs? Seriously. Had this whole, since January of this year, do you think that these prices, the way they are now, had anything to do with tariffs? Hell no. Even when the tariffs came into place, the prices didn't change. So guys, this fear-mongering of tariffs has nothing to do with us. The prices were already jacked up before we even decided to step our foot into one avenue. Don't blame the president. I'm not sticking up for anybody, but don't blame the president for stupidity, for not seeing the truth go right past you. Blaming the president for something that was already there. That's got to end. I mean, I've seen this many of years in business. You got one company blaming another company for their pricing. And then when you're the buyer, you don't want to hear that. You want to hear the truth. You want to hear the real deal. You don't want to hear all blah, 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 blah. It makes it sound like somebody's done shot your jaw up with a bunch of, narcotics. So your jaw's all over the place. It's got to stop. Reviewers, you need to start cracking down and start getting to the truth of things. And I'm going to point this finger out to y'all. If you don't start telling the public the truth, that they're not getting screwed by something, they're never going to know the truth. I've been doing pricing ever since I started this channel. And I can tell you which way it goes, up and down, back and forth, front and back, all the way around. Nobody spends much time on it other than AI than me. So, yeah. Just make warranties non-transferable after the purchase from the authorized vendor. For real, you could do that. But it's an incentive machine. It's an incentive. It's an incentive of safeguarding and giving the public a safeguard. That's all it is. You don't want to take an old GPU and it gets sent back to a company, have it refurbished in this, thrown together like some kind of Frankenstein, and then sold back to you again. This would eliminate the Frankensteining. That's pretty much what they're doing right now. China's Frankensteining them and sending them to us. And we keep buying it. We keep buying crap. And people don't realize that the crap that we're buying is actually the crap we're throwing in the garbage. The stuff we can't reuse, that's getting sent back to China. They're buying it and they're reselling it to us. It's a racket. Oh, You guys just don't realize that how the circle of PC life works. Any PC life that you got and you throw it in the trash will wind up back in China and come right back to you again into a new product. That's the circle of PC life. So that 7900 XT for $650. Yeah, well, with the game is a great price. Not to change the subject. Oh, yeah, it is. That was on Newegg, if I remember right. So, not changing the subject. We're going to go and look at it. If it's still there. Let's see, 7900 XT GPU. Right here. Right here. It can't get any better than this. It can't get any better than this. Oh, shit. Maybe if I turn you guys on to the screen, it would be better, wouldn't it? There. Maybe if you guys were on the screen, it would be a lot better for you to see. So let me get it all squared up. So if you look at it, shipping from the United States, I mean, $650. How much is Hunter's Monster Hunter Wild? How much is it on Steam? Oh, it don't matter if it's a reference card. I mean, even if it's a reference card, still, you still got some performance to it. $70 game. Yeah, you said 580. I seen you said that. I'm just going to do it with the calculator because I know y'all love the calculator. So you're taking $650. I know I've already did this on Graphics Card Nightmares, but you're minusing the $70. Yep, $580. So remember, there's two values. You got a physical value and you got what they call a mental value. And I know everybody's mental, so there ain't no value. The value's done diminished after that. But guys, a game value is it remains. How can I say this? It remains relevant on the internet until it's been discontinued. Just like your graphics card. The monetary value of that $70 to $80 is stuck on the internet. It's not stuck in your graphics card. But if you're getting a graphics card for $580, below the price of a 4070, get this, below the price of the 4070. And if we go to look, and we go to, let's do 7900 XT specs. I know you guys are wondering what I'm doing. Okay. So if you go to look here, I mean, and then you go over here and then you look at the 4070. You know, that's got 5,888 cores, but this has got 5,376 cores. It's got 20 gigabytes of GDR6, with 320-bit bus. This has upgradability, I think, in VRAM. Compared to this having a 192-bit bus and being $20 more expensive, but if you go and look at the relative chart, where does the 7900 lie? Let's see. The 7900 XT. Right here. At how much? 40% faster. 40% faster. So, at 40% faster, for $50 more, I'm not worried about the new generation. I'm just worried about the, what you can do now. I'm not worried about the new generation. It's what you can do now. And it's still relevant. That's the point. It's still relevant. Oh my God. For that price is a steal. And it's still relevant. Especially if you thought about, with the game, you can probably find a way to sell a game to the friend, let's say for $50. And make back $50, lose $20. But you didn't lose $20. $20 went back into the price of your GPU. So, just a thought. Hello there, Debt Nation. Welcome to the channel. Absolutely love that statement. It's what you can do now. Yeah, basically, it's what you can do now. It's not what you can do later. It's not what you can do 10 years from now. Basically, simple said and put. That's the reason why I was looking at it and said for $580, and you can sell off the game however you can do it, and you paid $580 for a graphics card, or even $600 for a graphics card. That's 40% faster than another $600 graphics card. Guys, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's right there. And for that price to come out, I'm not worried about a 50 series card. I'm not worried about the 9000 series. The card I would be worried about is now the 7900 XT. Because it's got 20 gigabytes of VRAM and it's still relevant on the gaming capacity playing on Steam and everywhere else. It's got content creating potentials. You can't beat that. And the bus size, got an inch. And the bus size is 320. That leaves another avenue for what? I would think that would leave an avenue open for more VRAM. So, tell me I'm wrong. I mean, let me know. Just let me know in the comments here. Let me know if I'm wrong. I mean, it opens up a new avenue people just didn't think about. I think it does. So, but everybody's stuck on the fascination of the 90s, 70s and thinking, oh my God, it's gonna run faster. You know what? If you want to run faster, go to a marathon. If you want to get to the brass tacks of it all, if you use your software correctly, you don't have to worry about you needing the most powerful CPU on the face of the planet. That's just a want. It's not a need. If I did not have my super, I would buy the 7900 XT at that price. Yeah, I mean, I got my 4070, bro, and they shot a price out like this. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? But my GPU is going to be going on 2 years. I haven't had no problem with it other than the little problem that I had earlier, about the app, but that's the app. That's the problem with the app. I think it has something to do with the Microsoft Store and the app, because Microsoft Store is going to want NVIDIA to put their app in the Microsoft Store. So I think that's what it's kind of dealing with right now. So no budget for a marathon shoes. Exactly. MTBK, you got it right. I would most certainly get some blisters. You would. But look, if you look at it and you see a better deal come out, I mean, everybody's complaining about the VRAM. Everybody's saying, well, NVIDIA's got too small a VRAM. So what? If you don't like NVIDIA, go to AMD. If you see that the 5070 is the same price as, guess what? The 7900 XT, and you got one that's got 12 gigabytes of VRAM, but if you want 8 more gigabytes of VRAM, then go to the 7900 XT. I'm sure it's got AV1 encoding. Probably not decoding, but probably encoding. It's got all the bells and whistles for rasterization. A lot of people are not really into ray tracing, so that's really not going to matter much, but it is going to be suitable for running Indiana Jones, I think. I haven't heard any negative on it, so yeah. Plus my water consumption. I take 3 times the amount when walking compared to riding a bike. Well, we all do, but you don't need to, believe it or not, because your body's made up of how much water, and it'll take a long time to take and for your body to deplete that amount of water. So you can get by for quite a few hours. Well, let's say about maybe 3.5 hours, 4 hours before you need more. But yeah, depends on what you want. It's just like with your graphics card. The flow of information. I was tossing back and forth some ideas with a few people on this. They said to me like this: game developers are going to jack up the requirements and stuff, and they're going to keep going nonstop. Hardware is not going to be able to catch it. But in order to catch it, you don't need to catch it. If you understand what I mean by catching it, means that you can play any game, any AAA game on mid-level hardware. Any game. Mid-level and up. Lower level would be light gaming. You might be able to catch 1 or 2 AAA games. We all know this. This has been going on for years. It has not changed. It's just like when NVIDIA was running SLI. Same thing. Everybody wanted the absolute amount of power. So NVIDIA did what they call the NV link, to link 2 GPUs physically together. So they did away with that? Is because they took that same idea for the NVLink and now they're using it for their big Blackwell server processors. Same idea. They didn't come up with anything new. So sorry to let y'all know that, but they're just repurposing the same stuff over. All the companies in this world does the same thing over. Just like, and I'm going to break this news to you, just like with Microsoft. And believe it or not, Windows 11 still drives off of Windows 95. Don't believe me? It's out there. So basically it is. All they do is they tweak and change things as they go up the ladder for architecture. That's all they do is tweak and change things. Everybody's like, well, no, there's new architecture on your GPU because they changed the size of the GPU. They rebuilt the GPU. No, they don't. The only thing that changes is the positioning of the lanes, going from one transistor to the next. Nothing changes. They're still using the same generic I/O, input and output. AMD does the same thing. There's nothing really changed. They just rename it. Everybody just got to wake up from that. So, which is why riding a motorcycle is very efficient to move from A to B. Yeah, it is. So is a car. Same thing. I might buy that car for a build I'll be doing for a PC for my son for college. Cool. I won't be building it for a few months. But that'll definitely last him through college. You don't have to worry about that. That graphics card's not going to become extinct anytime soon. It's just like they tried to do that with the 3090 Ti, but everybody failed to realize that 3090 Ti still has NVLink. And you can still link it to another 3090 Ti and make it as one. Only difference is you got to have software that manipulates the SLI configuration, which they already do. So it's not just for content creating. It's somebody that's just got to use their brain to manipulate the software for Windows to re-enable the NVLink to run on the games. And that's it. So I don't know why NVIDIA took it away, but here's the answer why. Is because when you got two graphics cards that have 24 gigabytes each of VRAM, and you combine them into one and make a 48 gigabyte of VRAM card, guess what they just missed out on? Well, let's see. 48 gigabytes of VRAM goes for what? $26,000? And doing SLI configuration is only like what? $4,500? Yeah. There goes corporate greed, people. Now you see the corporate greed. Reason why they did away with the NVLink. So, well, I'm just bringing points to you guys didn't really think about, and it all comes down to the matter of the dollar. The only way you get the best of the best, which you'll never get the best of the best, is because there's always something new. Old new, basically. So you think you're getting something new? Unless they take and they R&D a whole new GPU from the ground up, that means everything. The GPU die everything and totally transform it from their old way to this new way. It's not going to be new. It's going to be an old/new. So nothing changes. They're still running off the same process they've been using for years. For years. Do you think the GPU die has really changed other than the size? Going small to big, small to big? You think them making transistors smaller is going to make it better? Not if they keep using the same process they keep using every new generation. It's the reason why we're only getting between 10 and 16% performance within generation to generation, is because they keep using the same old I/O architecture. They never change it. Just like with the CPUs, we've been on x86 for how many years? Come on. And that's for AMD and Intel. We've been on x86 since Jesus was a baby. No, probably not that old, but close to it. You think they're going to change it? Never know. It's totally stupid, I think. I never mind a die shrink. Well, it's not the matter of you shrinking the die. It's the matter of the transfer between point A and point B from the die. Because the die is designed to be turned on and off. Each transistor is designed to be turned on and off at a fraction of a second, a millisecond, that is. So, but nothing's changed. They're still using the same old architecture. Now everybody wants to run to an ARM processor. Does that make it any better? Look at Qualcomm and their so-called masterpiece, Copilot plus PC. It's slower than my PC. And it's more expensive than my PC. And mine does twice the amount of stuff than that PC does. It's obvious. They don't have a fresh idea. That's it. Seriously. They don't have a fresh idea. They just want to keep going on this path, and it's not working. Customers or the consumers are now waking up to the fact, how many years are they going to keep this going? And they're going to keep us in line as long as they make money. So until they come up with something new, it's the same status quo. Nothing changes. And me, I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. I am tired of the same status quo. Every freaking year. There's nothing gangbuster about this. The one thing that they said that was gangbuster was what? The system RAM coming out with 10,000 megahertz or microtransfers, whatever. Is there anything new? They can't even get their motherboards past 8,000 microtransfers. They can't even get it past that. Then people are wondering, what are they doing? Are they actually going to give us something new? Then they come out with CUDIM. CUDIM. It's supposed to have its own clock generator on the RAM itself to help speed up the flow of energy. But you know what they did was they made it an AMD or Intel exclusive. Didn't think nothing about AMD. Nothing. And AMD didn't think nothing of it. They're talking about they got the fastest processor in the world. But if you actually look at it, they got the slowest processor in the world because of Intel's got the fastest RAM in the world. And the RAM is connected to the CPU. So the 9800X3D is being flogged. I'm going to say flogged because that's what it makes me think, that it's being beat down by its current architecture. Now, at least Intel came out of the box or the closet, or they came out of the box, closet, whatever. And they said, okay, now we got a core processor, but everybody's hating on it. But everybody doesn't realize that they got the CU DIMM that can go up to 10,000 microtransfers. Problem is you can't balance it. Okay, well, yes, you can. It is possible. So while Intel sits on what could be the fastest processor in the world, AMD takes the spotlight for the processor being limited to its architecture. I'm not sticking up for Intel. I got an AMD processor, but I'm starting to see a better advantage that they could be going up to the next generation respectably. I mean, instead of landing a 64-bit processor, they could be running 128 bits, but it takes too much numbers, too much computation, this and that to make it 128 bit. Well, you got 92. You can go from 64 to 92. I mean, what are they going to do in the next 10 years when they can't get down anything smaller than 1 nanometer? They're not going to be able to. And this is where we're all going to be having this discussion again. How small can they make a transistor? I mean, truthfully, even the speck of a laser tip is no smaller than 3 nanometers. And you would have to get that stream so fine. It just, I don't see how they're going to do it. I really don't. That's the problem they're stuck at right now. Is because we're still stuck on 5 nanometer, and they say, oh, no, we're on a 4 nanometer process. No, we're not. We're on a 5 nanometer, just like we were with the last generation. Nothing's changed. They can't say, oh, we went from 5 to 4 nanometers. We didn't. It's still the same 5 nanometer process. Nothing's changed. So this generation, other than Intel taking the bull by the horns and working on their processors to a 3 nanometer process, which AMD has not attempted. So it looks like Intel is going to be having a little bit more kind of pickup on their side of the field. And that's what I'm waiting on. But shrinking the transistors and shrinking the physical die size, they should have never done. You don't need to shrink the physical die size. It's what's inside of the die you need to shrink. But they don't use their brain. They can put more transistors. They can make it more powerful. Yes, it's going to put out a little more heat, but doesn't everything put out a lot of heat? Even when you breathe, you put out heat. Even when you're inside your car and you're running, it puts out heat. So either way you look at it, it's going to put out heat. Get over it. Breaking up the matter of how much power goes to each transistor. Yeah. It's just common sense. So I would like them to think about their conclusion to this. And I was thinking just the other day about, I'm going to tell you guys what I was thinking about taking the old technology they got to the fluidity of mercury. Okay, I was dabbling my mind through that the other day. And I was thinking, well, what if they took a transistor, left the gate and, well, left the source and the drain a solid and made the gate fluidic with mercury? Some people would say, well, if it's in fluid form, it would degrade. No, it ain't. Not mercury. The only reason it wouldn't degrade is because you can use mercury for many. I mean, I seen those little bubbles that they had for, your air conditioner that filled with mercury. They last like 30, 40, 50 years. So that fluid inside that bubble, you can use the same fluid for doing your transistors. And believe it or not, since it's fluidic, it's not going to degrade. It actually will keep stable all the way around. I know they don't think about that. But anyway, guys, I know I'm going off the rails about this 4070 and the 7900 XT, but getting down to the 9070, let's go back to it. So we got to look at the fact. I mean, the 9070, an overclocked version, is about $1,000. Okay. It's about $1,000. And as you've seen, you can get a 7900 XT for 650. Well, 580 if you want to disclude the game. So about that, around there. But that's still cheaper than a 9070. And if you do price to performance, I know you guys will let me know. I'm price to performance. And then what you'll see is that the performance is a little bit better with the 9070 or the 7900 XT than it is running the 9070. Oh, cool. I'm reading that right now there, machine. I'm reading that right there right now. Thank you for that link. There, I popped it into the screen. So this says the first leak featuring GeForce RTX 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte shows 13 to 14% performance over the 4060 Ti. then, truthfully, okay, I'll look at that too. Truthfully, going back through that and thinking about that, Bill, are you talking about the ASRock too? Are you talking about the ASRock GPU? I think you are. I'll post that too. How about that? I'll post that too. So, because that's one that you posted for 900 or $1,000. I mean, this has got 24 gigabytes of VRAM. I see where that's going. So if you pay $1,000 for this and you pay $1,000 for the 9070, wow. Same price. Yeah. I'm catching that now. Yeah. Yeah, I said something about this on Graphics Card Nightmares. Yeah, I think I did. Or I might have been thinking it, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Thanks, bro. I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, damn. I mean, you think about it. 24 gigabytes of VRAM, right? 24 gigabytes of VRAM, GDR6. And then you get yourself a 9070 at $1,000 with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. So at the same price, you get 8 more gigabytes of VRAM, basically cut down to, no. The only difference is the software. That's what it comes down to, the software. Because this is the thing. If you were to take and they were to take and adapt RDNA 4 to RDNA 3 GPUs, look at the bus on this one. Am I missing something? I must be missing something. Yeah. Yeah. So that puts the 7900 XT in line with the 7900 XTX. So that means you can take a 7900 XT, supposedly, and add the additional RAM, and you probably can get away with upgrading the firmware. So you'll get a 7900 XTX with the 7900 XT GPU, basically. People like rasterization. I mean, I like both. And this, I'm going to tell you guys like this. It doesn't matter if it's ray tracing or rasterization. I like both. So whatever gives me the best results, that's the best way I'm going. But I already know ray tracing lowers your FPS scores. So yeah, I mean, I run an NVIDIA graphics card. Well, then why would you get an NVIDIA graphics card? Because I use it for content creating, gaming, and everything else. It's multi-purpose. Now with some AMD graphics cards, they were not multi-purpose, but they're working on it. It's taking years for them to get there, but they're still working on it. They're still trying to get there, said and put. Yeah, I mean, machine. Believe it or not, the only difference would have been if they would have took the 7900 XTX, right, and changed it from GDR6 to GDR6X. I think they would have had a contender. Given it that IPC lift of 1.5%, they would have had a contender. But now let's look at the GeForce 5060 Ti. Let's do a little bit of investigating. We did on the 9070s, so let's do the 5060 Ti. They're going to have two variations. They're going to have 8 gigabyte and 16 gigabyte variations. They're going to have two variations. One that's probably going to be at $300 and some dollars, and one that's going to be at $400 and some dollars. So we all know this. Let's just try to see if we can see if they got a pricing. Well, they don't got a pricing in here. So, like I'm going to tell you guys, if we look at the end of the day, don't look at the price just yet until it gets popped out by NVIDIA, because it's going to drive you bat crazy trying to figure out what kind of pricing they're going to have. But we can guess. So we're looking at that the specifications reported earlier, samples independent, reviewers are arriving to independent reviewers, so they're getting their hands on it. They got some Geekbench software, the results to the public. So they got 5060 Ti, 16 gigabytes of RAM, VRAM that is. And they're using a X870E motherboard with the 9800X3D to get these results. So just let you know the two, but they didn't say the RAM speed. The system RAM speed. They never say the system RAM speed. So basically, they'll probably be running at 6,000 microtransfers, probably, or 6,400. Who knows? So let's dive deep and see what we can find. Nope, actually, the RAM they used on this side right here was 5994 microtransfers. And over here, it's the same 5994 microtransfers, 2 channels. That means it's 1 stick per channel. And it's 32 gigabytes of system RAM. So now we know. So digging a little deep on that, and that's what they come up with. So leaks confirm that the card has 36 compute units, 4,608 CUDA cores. Particular model had 2,647 megahertz boost clock at 15.9 gigabits of memory speed, which of course 16 gigabytes. 5060 Ti scored 146,234 OpenCL test and 140,147 points on Vulkan. Card is 5% higher on OpenCL score and 16% lower on the Radeon RX 9070 non-XT. Wow. So they're saying that the 9070 non-XT is 16% faster compared to the 5060 Ti. But comparing the last generation 4060 Ti to the 5060 Ti is about 14%. So if you think about it, it's still going to be 2% slower than a 4070 Super, because the 4070 Super is only 16% than the 4070. Wow. Looks like the launch is planned for the 16th of this month, and the testing probably on the 15th. So, soup to nuts. That's basically what it comes down to with the 5060 Ti. I don't know. What are you guys thinking? Tell me what you're thinking. Well, see, you see, not a lot of people are going to be using OpenCL. That's more or less, for business computation and stuff like that. Most of your gamers worry about DirectX, OpenGL, or Vulkan. Those are your main ones. OpenCL, they don't worry because they don't worry about that so much. So I don't think that it's going to make much of a difference, because everybody's going to be basing their numbers on DirectX. And they're going to be more basing their numbers between DX11 and DX12.2. So I really don't think OpenCL is going to give you anything that's of value at this point, because it's still using a part of the CPU computations. I just don't see how it's going to balance out in the real world when gamers are basically 100% stuck on DirectX and Vulkan. DirectX and Vulkan, some stay on OpenGL because there's some live real-time games that require OpenGL. So I know that because I'm on Second Life and it requires OpenGL. It doesn't require anything else but OpenGL. So I think the 5060 Ti could be a contender. Could be a contender if they price it correctly, and it's the 16 gigabyte. If they do it for less than $400, 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte, they do it for $400, let's say. That would be a contender compared to the B580 being priced at $400. So, thinking about it. Yeah, wasn't it like the 8 gigabyte version was like 300 and something, and then the 16 gigabyte version was. See, that's what I'm trying to do, trying to come out my mind without looking on Discord, bro. That's the reason why I give it the moment instead of me looking on Discord, as I'm just using my mind and trying to track back, okay, to what I saw for pricing. It's just a leak, and take it with a grain of salt, guys. And we got a bloop, 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 bloop. And we got a bloop, 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 bloop. I don't written. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. I got you. Basically, put right here. $379 for the 8 GB version. For the 16 GB version, $429. But it's just a leak and it's not actual. Yeah. But it's just a leak and it's not actual. But for that price, that performance is going to have to be really good. Especially with it doing 14% faster. So, okay, let's go back to the action screen. Okay, let's pick and put these off to the side for a moment. Let's say we go to the 4060 Ti 16 GB specs. Okay, so let's look at the relevant performance. So that means that's going to put that right here. That means it's going to put it right there with the 7700 XT. Baseline. So now we're doing a 7700 XT baseline. So now we go up 14% for that. And it puts it right in between the 4070 and the 4070 Super. Not even to the 4070 Super. 1% faster than the 4070. Tell me I'm wrong about this. Yeah, I know, but what I'm doing is I'm going from what they said, and they says 14% faster than the 4060 Ti, 16 GB. So I went 14% up from that, which brought me to the 7700 XT and bringing me 14%. You guys know. So the speed of the 4060 Ti, and then bringing it up to the speed of the 5060 Ti, basically about 32-33% total. So it's still going to nail it right down to 1 to 2% above the 4070 for the 5060 Ti, 16 GB. But the 4070 Super is still going to be faster. So basically, yeah, yeah, I can agree to that. It would probably be like 1 or 2% faster than the 6800 XT. About that. So yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the 6800s here, the 6800s here, it's at 2% faster than that. and now we're talking about 1% higher than the 4070. So it's going to be within 5%. About that. It's going to be within 5% of the 6800. I mean, numbers don't lie. So, no, I don't think so, bro. I think okay. I'm going to give it a range between 1 and 10% total. I'm just going to give it a range between 1 and 10% of the 4070. It's going to land somewhere in there, because if you look at the 4070 Super, it's right here. 4070 Super is 31% faster than the 7700 XT. So that brings it down. If I click it here and I bring it down, it's only 16% faster than a 4070. The 4070, the Super is 16%. So on an average between the two, that 5060 Ti is going to sit right about here between the 6800 XT maybe and the 3080. So that's my thought pattern on that. I could be wrong. But that's where I think it's going to fall. Well, the 4070's got 5,666 CUDA cores. And the 5060 Ti has, let me go and have a looky. It is going to have 4,608. So we'll bring you back here. So we'll pull up the calculator, clear it out. So we'll say 5,888 minus 4608. It'll have 1,280 cores less. ROPS? Well, that's at the 4070. So this has got 64 ROPS, but unless that's got 64 ROPS, which they probably don't state, it's probably not stated anywhere right now. Yeah, so we don't know the full specifications just yet. I mean, I'm not seeing it. So we don't have the full specifications, bro. Who knows? Can't tell you how many ROPS or TMUs because it doesn't have it. And from the looks of it, let's see, let's go 5060 Ti specs. Let's see if we can find out anything. Wow, interesting. This is what Tech Power Up says. It says it's got a 48 ROPS compared to 64. 144 TMUs compared to 184. This is an 8 GB version. We'll roll with it. Because we know the 8 and 16 usually 1-2% of each other. This says that the 4070 is going to be 6% faster. And that the 6800 is going to be 5% slower. That's what their Tech Power Up is saying. Interesting. I don't know. What you think? Yeah, well, maybe it won't. I was kind of hoping it would. At least then it's got a contender, but I guess not. I mean, it's still put into the factor of mid-range. It's still put in the factor of mid-range on the scale. So even though AMD said they weren't going to play in high end, but obviously they're sitting there jacking up the power on their GPUs to play in the high end when they said they weren't going to play in the high end. I just think that was nothing but a ruse. Basically meaning that they did it to fake out the crowd to say, oh, we underestimated our GPUs. Okay. Problem NVIDIA has right now is they need to fix their software. They need to fix the rots. They need to fix maybe 4 or 5 things and fix the pricing. And that's it. They're done. They're back in the race. But if they keep giving AMD the upper hand, then guess what? AMD is going to be in the race for the long future. And they're going to lose on their high-end graphics cards. Then AMD is going to get boosted up on, oh, I want to build high-end graphics cards now. It's going to be, it's mind games. They need to stop playing mind games with the public. That's what I think. So the 5060 Ti is 180 watts. Well, yeah. Well, the 4070 is 200 watts. Locked at 200 watts, but usually operates between 135 and 165. So, and we will see if the 5060 Ti will be missing ROPs as well. Yep, we'll be watching the news for that. See, NVIDIA didn't want to be nice and send me a graphics card again. No. They didn't want to get a hold of me, and they got the easiest way to get a hold of me. I have an email service right on my main page. AMD could have did the same thing. Intel could have done the same thing. ASRock, Asus, MSI, Gigabyte. They all could have got a hold of me and, said, hey, you want to test this out, They don't. I guess they just like the commentary of hearing their products and how bad they're doing. So obviously they think that. More power, more ROPs, more cores, 4070 is better. Truthfully, I think coming down to the end of the day, I don't think that. At the end of the day, it's not going to matter how powerful your GPU is going to be. It's how much you can afford. That's going to be how better your GPU and your PC is going to be. If you can't afford $600 for a whole PC. What do you get for $600? Integrated graphics. You think that makes it fair to the public? But no, that's what they can afford. That's what they're going to buy. So do you think it's fair to say, well, $2,500 is minimal for mid-grade PCs? Yeah. Now these days with the pricing and everything else, but this has been going on for close to almost a year now. You think some people, I had a guy already ask me this the other day. You think tariffs are going to change the PC part price? I said, do you see the PC part price now? And he said, yeah. And I said, did it change before or after when the tariffs went in effect? Before then and after? Not a thing. So when everybody gets done fear mongering over nothing, and the manufacturing plants moved out of China, they went into uh, what is it, Cambodia or something like that, Vietnam or something like that, and they moved. They're not sitting in China. So you think you're really paying a high price for your PC parts? No, that is the retailers and the AIB partners. They're the ones that jack the prices up. So they have to answer to the public. They have to answer to the public. But from what I'm seeing, they've already did jack the prices up before the tariffs even took place. And yes, I keep mentioning it is because it's true. The price of eggs has not changed. Well, it did. It went down $3 in some states, but here in California, nothing changes. That's due to the fact of the good old gov. He don't like changing things. He likes to keep everything as the status quo. If eggs are $9, they stay $9. If the president lowers eggs by $3, they should be $6 or $4 or $2 and $3. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's the fear mongering that they do out there to keep the public down. So let me read what you guys are writing so I can catch up. I also heard that there will be no stock in the 5060 Ti. Possibly. Hello, pseudoscientist. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you once again. So my 4080 Super got cold shoulder again. What do you mean? I need to follow up on that with you, pseudoscientist. What do you mean got cold shoulder? True, but MSRP does not mean anything. And people are only realizing that MSRP, it was designed for the companies that goes from the manufacturer to the AIB partners, that the AIB partners could not sell a GPU below the MSRP value. It has nothing to do about the consumers. It's a minimal price thing they put on GPUs for the AIB partners. It's a minimal gap. That's all it is. So people start to wake up and they'll start to realize what it really is. So. Hello there, YT. Good to see you. Welcome back once again. That's what I kept telling people. But they are too stupid and keep blaming AMD. I know that. AMD didn't even make a reference model to sell this generation. And people still claim the pricing from AMD. I know some of the cards they made for NVIDIA, they're doing the same thing as well, even if they're not reference cards or founders editions, as you would say. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but machine, that's a founder's edition. That looks like a Founders Edition, my friends. But we'll put it on the screen. We'll put it on the screen and see what everybody thinks. So we'll go there. Okay. Since Machine brought this up, the NVIDIA RTX 50 series GPUs reportedly available at below MSRP in Walmart's return section. Get that? Walmart's return section. That means what? That means these are resales. That means this is refurbished. That means they're reselling the original product to the consumers, giving you a little bit of a discount if you're lucky enough to find one. It's called open box theory. If you can find an open box, good luck. So the 50 series GPUs might be under MSRP pricing on the return section of retailers. Returns. That means open box. So Walmart has been scalping GPUs. Okay, well, let's dig a little further. NVIDIA's 50 series might be under MSRP. You guys know the drill. In modern times, finding the 50 series, even if you're ready to pay higher prices due to demand, global situation, supply chain seems massive slowdowns. However, apparently stated getting their hands on some newer GPUs. One such might be check returns Walmart stores since apparently Redditors have scored great deals doing this, snagging an RTX 5080 as low as $896. Wow. 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 Yeah, but machine, they still got to worry about the ROPs. They still got to worry about the ROP problem. They still got a few problems they got to worry about. That's the reason why it's going to be that price. It's not because somebody returned it, it's because they're not going for any more expense. People are not buying them because of the ROT problem and because of the PhysX 32-bit problem and the power problem. And, it's just, and the software problem. It's just 5 or 6 different problems. People are not going to pay it. They're taking them back. They're tired of it. So NVIDIA, you need to kind of hear what the public's saying. You got 5 or 6 problems on these GPUs. You need to fix it. Yeah, but they need to fix it though. That's the thing. They're not fixing the problem if people are still reporting about it. When you start seeing reports, oh, NVIDIA fixed the problem, then that's a different story. But you're not seeing those kind of reports. That's why there's screwballed. That's why everybody's buying a cheap GPU from the new generation is because it's got problems. And even the scalpers are going to have a hard time selling them because of that problem. So, yep, they got black screen, blue screen, green screen, orange screen, white screen. PP screen, all the whole 900 yards. They got the whole spectrum. So until NVIDIA starts waking up, which they need to do it pretty soon, since they made more money on the stock market this time, looks like people are buying stock again. They make all this damn money, but cannot invest into the R&D for their graphics cards, especially when they're missing stuff. And they got checkpoints too. This is how the checkpoints work. They have quality control. TSMC's got quality control. Moving over, NVIDIA's got quality control. That's 2. AIB Partners got quality control. That's 3. And down to the last one, the retailer. There is no quality control. So you got 1, 2, 3 inspections, and not one of them could find the ROPs that were missing. Oh my God. Totally over my head. So I guess they they pretty much, they got it wrong there, pseudoscientists. Jay, do you think NVIDIA is forgetting, not caring about gamers anymore? Yeah, pretty much it comes down to it. If they really cared about the gamers like they used to, then they wouldn't be doing all what they're doing for the last couple of years, I would say, for the last couple of years. So I'm just less, don't blame AMD, but no competition is because at AI profits. So the scientist, you are correct. It's AI, 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 AI. I would put, Jensen's face up there saying AI, but I ain't going to do that. So looking at it, I hear nothing but AI from these companies. AI has nothing to do with gaming, even though they're trying to fold gaming into the AI scene. Has nothing to do with it just yet. So until it's got some legs and standing, I wouldn't rely on it. So unless you're doing machine learning, compute work, then those high-end graphics cards would be for you. But when it comes to gaming, you can use a mid-level, lower-end graphics card. Works just as good. But this 9070 and 9070 XT, and now a 9070 GRE that's been leaked out there that's going to China. I'm going to tell you like this. You got a graphics card that's being overpowered. And this has already happened because you got an overpowered, overclocked graphics card. And when somebody goes to overclock it again, what happened? Well, let's see. It was a Power Color Hellhound 9070. Was it XT? I think it was an XT. The OC version. So from what I heard, they overclocked the card and they popped a hole in the center of the GPU die. Usually if it pops out the center like that, that means it's overpowered. That means that the matter of that heat has nowhere to go. That means you just took out the hot spot of your GPU. You just took it completely out. That's funny. You send that back to AMD to see if they can fix it. As they're going to tell you, that's not within warranty. If they fix it, then that'll be a different story. But it's one incident. You never know. There could be two. Just like with the 9800X3D. Many incidents pops out about ASRock motherboards. It's still going on, and it still hasn't been fixed. It's just never ending. Never ending. So, there's literally scalpers buying the cheaper goods, details on JAWS, and now reselling at nearly double the price. Yeah. They're selling it nearly double the price on e-waste. I mean, eBay. You guys know that. That's how they're doing. Open box. They're those ugh. Those scalpers found every market when it comes to your graphics card. Oh, don't mind about the motherboards. Don't mind about some of the CPUs. There's not really a market for them. So everybody don't pay attention to them. Not even the gamers or not the gamers, not even the reviewers pay attention most to the motherboards. A lot of those big techs, they really don't pay much to the motherboards because they can't find substance for content to do it with. We can talk about motherboards all day long, all night long. As long as they keep giving the same output, the same architecture, does anything change? Absolutely freaking not. Nope. Other than when you get a new change, you get more price. Is there something changed? Yeah, your wallet. It got less amount of money left after they got done sucking you dry. So until I see these companies come out with something very inventive and new compared to the status quo, there's nothing else to pay attention to. We're all going to be talking about the same crap over and over. Every year, same freaking crap. Nothing changes. Machine, I understand that. If you got a hard time buying that, I wouldn't buy it. I want to be honest with you. I would not buy it. So I hope you hear my consideration to that. The 7900 XT comes with the game, yeah. So, but what else? You know what it's going to do for you, what it gives you. It's going to be a rasterization card. So is your 6800. Peak performance is different between the two. So are you just paying for the VRAM? Pretty much. Are you paying for the performance of the software? No. Because it doesn't have RDNA 4. It's only got RDNA 3 and 3.1. Does not have 4. So at that value, is it really worth the price of admission? It could be, depending on your usage. So, just something to think about. I was going with an ASRock motherboard. They have great audio. I went with an Asus motherboard. At least I know it's not gonna kind of blow up Even though I know with the 7800X 3D, they had one blow up, but I think that was a minimal kind of a issue. I don't think that was a maximum issue. So, didn't say anything on it. But with the microcode for the ASRock motherboard for the 9800X 3D is just not jiving with each other. So you might want to look in a little bit carefully before you decide to buy an ASRock motherboard. A little bit of a catch. You got MSI out there. You got Gigabyte. You got Asus. Have a look at the other ones. ASRock's not the only one with great sound. I mean, Asus, I have no problem with the sound built onto the motherboard. So, works great for me. And Machine, yeah, I do understand you got the money, bro. But I'm just saying, if you want to get something like that, that's up to you. But yeah, remember, it's not you being happy with it. It's who you're giving it to that's going to be happy with it. I'm sure they will be, but I'm sure they will be. Oh, why you guys retract your message? What's up? I didn't get a chance to see it. You guys are like flipping through like really fast on the retract here. So we'll get it together. XFX Swift RX 9070 749 to 829. Save 10% on bot life. Touch. won't strike you through the 829 bloody hell. Wow. Yep. The bot life, anything that's below $800, the bot life has it. I agree. It's kind of common. No matter what Amazon says, they say they try to combat the scalpers. They don't put enough security in there. I've already explained earlier through the video, the live stream, how they could have combated, some of that scalping and got it down very minimal. But you think they're going to pay attention to the video? Probably not. They can always replay it so they can understand it better. They can. But are they going to actually help the consumer? They really don't care. They just want to sell products. They don't care about the consumer's feelings or anything else. And when people wake up to this fact, then you'll understand these companies are only in it for the money. They're only in it for the money. And that's it. They can care less about your feelings. They can care less about anything other than them being sued. So I'm just saying it the way it is. So, and I'm going to tell you guys, if I ever get a GPU again and it's over $600, I'm not buying it. I will never buy a GPU over $600 ever. There's no need. There's no need. The mid-level GPU between $300 and $600 is good enough to play some of these newest games. It's good enough. Yes, you might have to adjust your settings down a little, but you know what? So what? You can still get a great gameplay. It seems like everybody's focused too much on the textures other than playing the game. Stop focusing on the textures. Just play the game. Enjoy the game. That's the whole idea of gaming. It's not to play with the textures and go, ooh, ooh, like, like you're 2 years old. Stop it. Set it up, make it run correctly, and just play your game. Stop worrying about the settings. Stop playing with the settings like like a kid that's got a touch. Just stop touching. I mean, it's all I hear all day long. All I hear is textures. My textures are all wrong. Stop touching it. Touch. Stop touching. Stop being a 2-year-old. When you boot up into the game, let the game to decide your optimal settings. Stop touching. Some of these games can automatically, through AI, optimally set your settings. Stop touching them. It's even with Cyberpunk. I can leave it on the optimal settings. I don't need to touch nothing. I just need to play the game. That's it. Just play the game. That's the whole purpose. Or why even worry about a PC if you don't know how to play a game? Leave it up to the reviewers to tell you all what's good or bad. Just play the game. Don't worry about testing your stuff. You're playing your game, it's testing your stuff. Stop testing your game. Simple. It just baffles me how many people just keep touching things. Back years ago, when you were playing Nintendo, you only had your monitor and the console. Ain't nobody touching the colors. Colors are preset. Just play the game. XFX Radeon RX 7900 GRE, $800. And they can keep it too. They can keep it for the simple fact it's not going to matter. Not a lot of people are going to want to buy it. Not that now that they got the 9070 and the 9070 XT out there, even though that people want to talk about the 9070, which they can get and boost it up to XT version, which I'm not recommending at all, because there's a lot of bad juju to it, I think. And when you go to push the power limits of your GPU beyond its capabilities, especially when the die size is smaller, you're opening up a can of worms. You're opening up that can of worms for you to break your GPU. I wouldn't do it. And right here, I'm not recommending you guys do that and make your 9070 run like your 9070 XT by software. I'm not recommending that. So, yeah, back in the days, people were playing the games. Yeah, that's all they had to do was play the games. It's simple. Stop playing the games with your screen and play the actual game. I mean, it's obvious. Stop playing the game with your actual screen. Just play the game. Unbelievable. It's not rocket science. I mean, come on, guys. You're opening up a can of worms. YT says, yeah, you are. You're opening up a big can of worms. A failure. You want to succeed, just play the game. You're pushing your system to complete failure when you can have it pre-optimized to where you don't have that problem. You don't have to touch it every time you go to a different game. If it's pre-optimized, you don't have to touch anything. Just play the game, enjoy it, have fun with it. This thing to where you got to take and micromanage your textures. What do you think? You're going to jump through the screen and micromanage your textures? It's not happening, guys. I mean, it's common sense. Unless you're good at coding and you know how to write algorithms, that's the only way you can micromanage your PC. But to do it with the settings you got right now, it does not work. You have 6% failure rates doing that stuff. So don't put yourself in the boat of basically, how can I say this? Don't put yourself in the boat if it's got a hole in the bottom of the boat. So, and if you want to keep playing that route and keep pushing your GPU to that fine line and keep forcing more power down its neck and wonder why your GPU only lasted you a year, that's the reason why. Other than letting your system take control and let it choose your best optimum performance when it comes to your games. Simple. I know it sucks to say that, but everybody's looking for that little golden rainbow. There is no golden rainbow anywhere. It's what you can see. See? What you can see. That's what makes the difference. It has nothing to do with everybody else in this world. It's what you can see. I can understand if it looks fuzzy and it looks like crap. Well, then get a better monitor. Or if you're having problems with the textures, get a better monitor. You can see your monitor is your visualization, and your graphics card implements that signal. So without one or the other, what do you got? Think about it. What do you got? Is it really working for you? You say to yourself, well, I got me a 768p monitor. I want to get a 4K monitor and I want it to do everything. And then you go to do everything and find out your FPS went from 170 FPS all the way down to 38 FPS, and you're just totally frazzled over the point. Well, when you push high frame rate, frame resolutions, it's going to lower the FPS even lower. Best thing I can do and say to you is this, and what I do, instead of getting a better monitor, I take and see what I can do with my monitor. And I'll show you guys this really quick again. So, what you do is you get NVIDIA control panel. NVIDIA control panel. Right? Right here. You go into manage 3D settings. You go over here in the NVIDIA control panel. go right here where it says DSR factors. Okay. Right here. And if you read what it says right down here, it gives you an explanation to it. So you guys can look it up. It's not hard. I have mine set for 4K, 1080p, 1440p, and the whole 900 yards. Yeah, so do I. I can set mine at 1440p, bro. I mean, so if I really wanted to set my screen to 1440p, that's not going to be hard. I mean, truthfully, it ain't. So that's my second screen. So I'll just take you guys through it real quick. So right here, display resolutions. Watch. I can go to 1440p. I can go to 4K. Like, let's see what happens. Guess what? Changes. Now my screen is at 1440p. 1440p right here. So as you can see, things got smaller now, didn't it? So now pushing it back to the record. So keep changing. That gives you a little bit of an idea of what dynamic screen resolution will do. I can do 1440p without having the latency. A lot. You're still going to get like a few milliseconds of latency, but it's not going to be as bad as buying your whole monitor and getting more latency. So it saves you money. It smooths the edges around. Runs really great on my PC. So everybody can in this world can knock DSR, dynamic screen resolution. But if you don't know how to use it, it's not going to work for you. I know how to use it because I've been experimenting with it for many of, let's say, for over a year, I could say. So I like my 1440p. Yep. 1440p is king of visuals and FPS. Well, like I said, when I play my games, I can set dynamic screen resolution. And as I showed you guys on the screen, it makes things a little bit smaller, which that's what it normally does. But I can make it bigger if I need to. But I can run 1440p and 4K under the resolution. I know it's not actual, but it's under the resolution. And it looks close to as good as it's going to get. So I'm not complaining about it. Truthfully, I'm not. If you go 4K, you can't go back and you must buy the top tier hardware to keep up with the newer games. Basically, buy new hardware every generation. If you're going for 4K. Yeah, but no. I can run any variation of resolution I want. I don't need to go big or go broke, because that's pretty much what you'll do. You go big, you'll go broke. So I really don't need to buy all that extra crap that's unneeded. I can change my resolutions all the way up to 4K. I don't need anything better than that. And doing dynamic screen resolution, it smooths the edging and everything else, and it runs very well on my monitors. So why do I need to spend an extra $200 just get a monitor that does the same thing? What? Oh, because of response time. That's what you're saying. Well, they got stuff for that. For your programs, they got stuff for that too. So if you set your PC up correctly and balance everything correctly, you really don't need better hardware. You just need better software. That that's just that's just my opinion. And I'm trying to show you that, so you guys can save yourself some money. But if you want to go big or go broke, that's up to you. That's your money. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. I'm just telling you how I would spend my money. And sure in the hell ain't gonna go big or broke, one or the other. That's just being serious because performance can't get and textures can't get any, any better than what you're seeing with your eyeballs. I tested out 4K on my 1440p display and GTA 5 enhanced. And boy, it looks perfectly smooth edges, 27-inch monitor. Yeah. So basically, you see what the point is. You see what the end game is. You don't need to go big or broke to get something better to make things look good. That's just a fantasy. That's just a fantasy. Truthfully, I'm running a 1080p monitor at 60 hertz. And I always hear everybody saying, well, the more hertz you got, the more FPS you got. That is nothing but a lie. That has nothing to do with the amount of hertz you have on your monitor. It's still 1-to-1, and you want to keep it 1-to-1 at 60 hertz. So keep believing the hype. And they're just feeding it to you. Next upgrade, I'll stick with 1440p, but I'll go ultra wide and I want to go running games in 4K. It'd look even better instead of going to a 4K native display. Exactly. You don't need it. If you want to run 1440p off of a 4K monitor, that's just going to make it even better for you. See, lowering the resolution doesn't mean it lowers the textures. It just, how you do it and how you set your PC up, it'll work just right. You just got to give it a little bit more fine tuning to make it run right. So that's just my opinion. I mean, what I do on my PC, I'm totally happy with. I mean, like I showed you guys, I can run 1440p, I can run 4K on mine. It smooths the edges even more, even though it's at 1080p. It just makes the resolution even better. You can't beat it. I mean, it makes the pixels smaller and tighter for 1080p. So you can't beat it. That's the way I look at it. You can't. And for the price of my monitors being that total of $200, $100 for each monitor, I can't complain. I mean, hey, Jay, it's good to see you. Welcome back to the channel. Just got the 9950X3D and the 9070XT from Newegg. Did you already put it together? Did you already get it going? And how much did it cost you? That's the question mark. How much did it actually cost you? Because you're looking at what? Just those two pieces alone, $1,800. Yes. And then if you want a sick motherboard, you're going to be, oh yeah, the two components are $1,800. And then you got your motherboard. That's probably another, what, 800 some dollars. And then you got your RAM. And then you got your SSDs. Then you got your power supply, your case. Oh, that's all cool, bro. I'm just saying, some people, you have to understand, some people don't have that kind of green, so they got to do with what they got to do with. But if you got that kind of green, that's understandable. I mean, it happens. I mean, some people do, some people don't. I'm not jealous of it. I'm glad you got something that you like. See, that's something you earned, not that I earned. It's something you earned. Hey, congratulations to you for getting that bundle. Congratulations on the bundle. But do remember, guys, there are bundles out there for you that you can get within your price range that do have decent graphics and everything else. You just got to dig a little deeper. That's all. I dig deep all the time, 7 days a week, looking over the whole inner boob to see what prices they got, if there's something good, bad, or ugly. So I can't remember everything. Just telling you, I can't remember everything. But truthfully, I'm waiting for the prices to come down on this generation when they get ready to spring next generation on everybody, either the end of this year or the beginning of next year. Because I know NVIDIA is waiting to do it. Why do you guys think they're doing less GPUs? It's common sense. They're doing less GPUs is because they're doing a paper launch. They didn't put all their eggs into one basket. When it comes to Blackwell, they spread it out those eggs to the new generation that's going to be talked about is the Rubin generation, which is already here. I mean, Jensen's already put the word out there about the Rubin generation. So it's not like it's a first rodeo for everyone. We all know that's coming. And from what I'm hearing, they got it about 3/4 of the way finished. It could be all the way finished by now. Who knows? So keep that in mind. Came with the X870 Edge. Cool motherboard. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. I agree with you. That is a really nice motherboard. Wow. Did you get a Lee case, or what kind of case did you get with that? That's going to be the question. Did you get a good Lee case with it? Something with pizzazz, like lighted cables or, stuff like that. That would be nice. That would be nice. They have the Lee cables, the case. You got the AIO cooler that has the digital front on it, you know, the holographic front. And then on the case, you got the holographic front right there on the side. You can see all your messages right there on the side of your PC. While you're sitting there playing your games, you're seeing your messages at the same time. I think it'd be pretty cool. That would be wild to see it all like that. So, oh, you got a Fantex 360A and the white. That's cool. That's cool. But I'm just saying, if you know, I mean, if you go and you got that kind of money and you go balls out, you know what I'm saying? Then I would think about getting that holographic imaging on the side of your PC and then on the AIO cooler, you know, something like that. However you want to do it, it's up to you. Me, I have a big imagination when it comes to something like that. I mean, a big imagination. I mean, even looking at if the PC is the case is big enough, you can put water cooling in it. I would even take that imaging plate they got for that AIO cooler and adapt it to an actual water cooling build. That would be so cool. Oh, still need an AIO in white? Let me see. Let's take a little gander for a moment. Okay. I'm just gonna shoot off of the hip for a moment. And let's say we'll go to Amazon since they suck. Holographic AIO cooler. Okay. They got that Panorama for 349 and they got a white one. Right here. They got a white one, 349. Uh, there's many others. Yeah, yeah, there's many others. I mean, to me, if I were to get something and I want to keep it in white, right there. I mean, I think that would be a good one. You know, that's up to you. That would be your decision on what you want to buy. So let's see. If anyone's interested in my budget choice, it was recent year old release. Gotcha. Gotcha. Nice. 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 So I'll tell you what, man. A little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you will be sick. But anyway, guys, Uh-oh. I'm in trouble again. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't in trouble. Let's see. Yeah, but I already got that case there, machine. Something close to it. Okay, well, let's talk about this for a moment. Let's talk about this case for a moment. Okay? We'll just talk about this. I am going to take you all to the wild side. Okay. Let's talk about this case for a moment. Well, let's look at it. Let's take a hobo to it. Okay. Tell me what you guys see wrong or right. Let's start with the right. It's got 4 fans. Okay, it's got 4 fans for $60. It's ATX. It's 280 millimeter by 360 square. It's got a hole on the side for the PSU, the power supply. So you can see what type of power supply you got in there. It's conventional. It has breakable tabs on the back for your GPU. It has breakable tabs, which had been better if they got the ones that unscrewed. So that way you can put them back after you're done. That doesn't give you anything. Okay. Now let's look at the negative side of this. The front of it is a pure glass plate. Pure glass plate. See the thumb screws? That tells you right there it's a pure glass plate. Your air's coming right here. And it's blocked off by those elevated holes. So even for $60, it's not even worth it. Not even. You asked me what I think about it for the price. I'm telling you, it's going to be a hot box, and it's not going to withhold up to what you want to do. So let's go a little bit further. Let's look at actual cases for $10 more. Right here for $10 more. $10 more. $10 more. $10 more. Same price. Montech, 6 fans. Same case. Look, same case. Comes with 6 fans. 3 in the front, 2 in the top, 1 in the back. Same price. I'll send you the link. So, copy. And we'll send you the link. Boop. So we'll send you that link on Discord. So there you go. Let's see. PC parts are cheap now, except of course, The GPUs. Yeah, I know. The GPUs are only a ridiculous part of the whole PC. I know. I do understand that. Stay away from uh, the virtual panels, in my opinion. Yeah, you could. You don't have to have them. I mean, it's just for aesthetics. I just figured you wanted to jump for aesthetics. So, but yeah, I mean, guys, when you're shopping for a cheaper case, look at the case very carefully. You can get better cases for cheaper prices. Look at your airflow coming in first. Look to see what kind of airflow you got. And if it's restricted airflow, I mean, this one right here, we're going to look at this one. See that? That's got slots on the sides right here. That's got slots on the side right here. But this is a 240 by 360. Each fan is 120 each. So this is not a bad small one if somebody's looking for it. But for 74 bucks, I wouldn't pay it. So just keep it in mind, guys. Just keep it in mind. There's many cases you can buy. If you buy a case machine, look for mesh front. You want it to have a mesh front. Because if it doesn't, have a mesh front, and it's not going to be worth your time. I think Jay's 2 Cents did a video on this. But he said that the triangle holes actually cause a whistle sound. Causes a whistle sound when it pulls in the air. I'm not sure if it was this one, but I think he said one of them had like a whistling sound. But overall, it's not a bad case. Comes with 4 fans. Can't beat it. Can't beat that. That's for sure. Okay, guys. Yeah. Yeah. As long as, and I'm going to break this to you, as long as it's got a mesh front and allows air to go from outside, cool air into the inside, and you got enough air being pulled out of the case from what's on the top. If you got 1 fan in the back, you got 3 fans on top, and you got 3 fans coming in. Air is just doing this in a cycle. It's pulling the hot air out and pushing cool air in. And that's what you want. You don't want a hot box. So pay attention and watch what PC case you buy. You never know. It could be a total wipeout. You never know. I think I will be doing an AM4 build soon. I don't have any problem with the AM4 build. The only difference is if you want to do a cheap AM5 build, you get the 7500F. You can get a B650 motherboard. RAM and everything else, probably about $800 total, but depending on how much you want to spend. That was without graphics card. So I just think I just think you just need to worry about the platform. You already got the graphics card. I would just worry about the platform, really. Truthfully, that's all I would worry about. Is because you got the 6800, and if you set it at stock, it's not going to overheat or anything else, and it's still going to run just as good as what you need it to run to. And if you got a decent platform, it'll definitely, and you balance the two, and they're about right here in between, you're not going to have any problems. So that's what I would think. So, okay, well, that's up to you. That's up to you. You got PC part picker. You can go on there and it'll give you instructions. When you pick out all your PC parts, you scroll to the bottom after you're done, it'll show you if there's any problems or issues, then you go look at the issues and what you can do to resolve them if it's going to become an issue. Yeah, it's very easy to use. So guys, we're over our margin. We're at almost to 2 hours and 40 minutes, but you know how my neighbors go. They just want to run, run, run. That's about what I'm doing is run, run, run right now. So, but I wanted to spend a couple hours with you guys today. I like JJ part picker better. Yeah, I know. But anyway, guys, it's about that time once again. And let me close this up really quick before I cut you guys loose. So that way we're good there. So, guys, I'm glad you came out today. I'm glad you had fun. We got 12 people in the chat today. I hope we get more in the future. And also, too, make sure you guys have an awesome day, you too, and you're welcome, machine. Y'all make sure you have a great day. Be safe out there, like usual. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and don't forget about the notification bell so you know when I post the next video. Until then, next time, and the next video. You know it is, and we'll see you on the next one.